Hello and welcome back to another episode, and an episode which is going to be a bit of a different one. I'll explain why in just a second, but before I do that, I think on the last episode I was finishing off this house I have here, which you can now see is completed. So we should just have a little look at that. I've also just built this this bridge here going across the tracks, and as you'll see I've blended everything back in, so that's that pretty much completed. But also, if we have a bit of a scoot around past the river, past the farm, past our house, coming into the station here, along the station, into the town scene. Now, when I first started this layout, my intention was to only actually have a scenic, this bit that we've just seen. I never had any intention of scenicking around the other side. So, to all intents and purposes, although there's, little tidy up touches that need doing, it's kind of all the basics of the scenics are now pretty much done. I mean, yes, I need to finish this road, needs finishing, but that's a little bit dull, isn't it? So, I kind of got to thinking, what am I actually doing out here and what am I trying to achieve? And yes, I've been busy with other things this year, but when I stop and think about it, all I've really achieved in the last 6 months is that house there. I think that's probably about it. So not an awful lot. I can't remember the last time I even ran a train on this layout, possibly not even this year, probably have to go back to last year before I did. So I think the decision I've come to is that I'm done with the model railway, but saying that, the bit I love doing is this kind of thing, scratch building the buildings, putting figures on them, doing the scenics, grass, little figures, cars. They're the kind of bits that excite me, not running a train round endlessly on a loop. I've never been a train buff or claim to know barely anything about trains or even care, if I'm honest. For me, this hobby is about, say, doing the scenics, which essentially are dioramas. So I'm thinking I'm gonna just start making small dioramas rather than try and incorporate them into this big space and make sure everything goes with a railway. Just gives you more scope gives me more scope to do something. I don't have to make a building that's going to fit in that exact space, because otherwise it will affect that and blah, blah, blah. So I've been mulling this over now for a couple of weeks, if not longer. I'm going on holiday week after next, so I'm going to mull it over for another 2 weeks. But if I haven't changed my mind when I get back from holiday, and it does also mean I'm going to have a fair bit of stuff that I'm going to want to get rid of. Not so much any of the stuff to do sceneries or any of the little figures and so forth, but rolling stock, trains, eBay, here we come. So what I'll do actually is I'll video the bits that I'm going to put up for sale, so you can have a look and see if you want to bid for them. Right, I'm back from holiday and I haven't changed my mind. In fact, I haven't even thought about the railway or anything to do with the railway for weeks now, and every time I come in here I don't even look at it anymore. The mind is made up, it's gonna go. So as you see, the destruction has begun. Now before I go too much further forward and crazy, I was just going to say all of the bits of this railway are just essentially boards which I'd quite happily take apart and keep. So for example, if somebody did want this house board, I could chop it sort of here. Obviously the scenery at the edge would need to be redone. Same goes for this river scene and the bridge. Again, I can chop that into a piece and keep all the figures of cars with it. Same for the farm. The station board is a bit tricky because the platform, excuse all the tangle of wires here, it'd be a bit tricky to cut that up without completely damaging that, so I think that's a no-go. And potentially the town scene board, if somebody did want it as a whole thing, then I could think about selling that as well. So yeah, if anyone out there is interested in any of these component parts or the whole thing, drop me a little message in the thing below. Obviously it would have to be collection only, and I'm based in Northamptonshire, but yeah, let me know fairly soon, sort of within the week, if that is something that interests you. Otherwise I'll just break it all down and put it on eBay as sort of little bits. Right, let's crack on.